It might.
Sure.
Let me know when we are. Well, actually, I suppose I can look at this. We should be up and running.
I mean,
soon.
geez, yeah. I mean, why not?
I guess check the levels because last week you said
Oh,
it sounded like my
yes.
game was maybe up too high.
No, that's on me. So hang on. Go ahead and talk.
Hello, talking.
All right.
1, 2. Actually, let me sit back where I normally sit. 1, 2, 7, 8.
No, I think you're fine. The problem actually is Mark's setup, not so much with yours. Turn my gain up a little. See if that helps me out.
Again, it's all Mark's fault.
Yeah, pretty much. I just need to make sure I talk into my microphone. I have a habit of not doing that, and therefore,
Yeah.
Oh.
My
flow.
I got to get a boom for my microphone. I got one, but it doesn't attach to my desk because I have a weird desk. So I got to get a floor mounted one.
I will show you how I had to mount mine because it did not technically mount properly to my desk. So I did a little modification. Might be worth looking at.
To the mic stand or to the desk?
I like it.
It's to the desk. I had to do it to the desk too, or I wanted to do it to the desk because I have a standing desk, so I can raise or lower it.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
I have one of those, a very desk.
Yeah,
I like mine at work. Not so much at home. At home, I'm usually playing PC games. I don't want to stand and play PC games.
I totally understand that.
Makes sense.
All right. So you want me to do the hosting duties, and you're going to run the stream. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, why not?
All right. That'll be strange, but we'll go with it.
It's Freaky It's Freaky Sunday.
Freaky Sunday.
I can't do Freaky Friday.
Something.
I'm kind of anti that movie, for the record. Didn't like the first one. Second one wasn't good.
Now,
Freaky
when you say
Friday.
the first one, are you talking about the first one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
And I think there was one before there, wasn't there? Wasn't that a remake?
I believe it was a remake. Yeah. So I don't know the original. I did not see the original.
Yeah, the OG was like in the 70s with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see. I didn't look up any fun facts about today.
Fun fact: football's back. No,
It is.
Football's back. Football's back.
Although we were down, so
lots of interesting. You already have one down.
yeah. Somebody, what is it? Bush is gonna have a surgery, but Achilles. I think he tore his Achilles.
Who?
Deion Bush. He tore his Achilles last night.
Deion Bush. What is he? Is he a linebacker?
I think so. Questioning.
All right.
I can't keep track of all of them. All right, so but yeah.
Really keeping up with the team there. He's a very important player. I don't know what he does.
Well, if his name's not,
we
Travis
lost our left
Kelce.
tackle. He ruptured his patella tendon at practice. So, go
That sounds like it hurts.
That's like one of the worst, injuries you can get in football. It is extremely difficult to come back from. So,
okay.
And he just signed a $100 million contract.
Ooh.
Talk about timing. Yeah.
Gonna get paid to recuperate. All right, are we live?
Yes, we are live. Let me just check levels real fast.
Check the level.
Yep, we're good. Levels perfect.
That's
how we do this, Mark.
So, anyway.
All right. Enough Mark bashing. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started. Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 848 of the Overseas Connection podcast. Today is a strange Sunday because I am not your usual host, Greg DeLacy, aka Tank Top, aka the Muscles from Central California. I am, in fact, Chris Matthew, and I'll be doing hosting duties this week because Greg just couldn't be bothered. So, welcome. Joining me from his couch and Central California is none other than Tank Top himself, Greg DeLacy. Say hi to the people, Greg.
Boom shakalaka! I think that was all very accurate, Mr. Matthew. I cannot deny any of that. I just was like, you know what? Let's just shake it up a little. So yeah, you've been doing a great job of hosting the show when I've not been here. Why not let you do a great job of hosting the show when I am here? And now I can give you all the grief, and you have to try and wrangle in the cats, so to speak. So,
good luck.
I'm a known cat wrangler, the wranglerist of cats that there is. Speaking of wrangling cats, joining us from the middle of nowhere, the crazy cat lady herself, Kim Woods. Say hi, Kim.
Howdy, everybody. Glad to be here.
I think, Kim, did you get a haircut?
Well, yeah. 2-3 weeks ago?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, ask my wife. I'm very slow to pick up on these things. She came home after getting her hair cut, and I'm like 2 days later, did you get your hair cut? And it was not a good thing. Not good.
That's not how you want to do it.
No.
That's not how you want to do it. So here we are. We're here to talk about life and video games and whatever else is going on. We do this every Sunday, 8 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast, and 2 p.m. Central Time. I did those all out of order just to confuse people. Normally we just go from east to west, but it's Strange Sunday, so we're just going to do it however we feel like. Join us on Discord. Check us out on Twitch. You can follow us on YouTube. And today we don't have any community birthdays, but a special birthday for our co-host Kim Woods. On this day, 204 years ago, the state of Missouri became the 24th state in the Union. So happy 204th birthday, Missouri.
Way to go.
And it's just been downhill ever since. There we go. So we've come to the early part of the show where we're going to tell you about what's been going on in our strange little lives.
Today I feel like
everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Couldn't have it be totally perfect for you.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. If it was perfect, we'd have to quit. So as long as we can have something to improve, we can just keep going. Since we're talking about cats and Missouri's birthday, we're going to give Miss Woods the honor of the first story time of the week. What's been going on out there in Kalamazoo?
Kalamazoo, yeah, right. Same old. I watched kids this week. Interesting fun fact, and I mean this, I guess maybe not interesting, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Apparently, my new phone can record whenever I snore, and apparently, I found out this week that yes, I do indeed snore. So there you go.
Hey, fun fact, really... I turned that shit off.
Right? Well, I thought I'd at least try it once and see what.
I've been told by my wife so many times. I already know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I figured I snored, but I've never actually caught myself doing it. Nobody's ever said, hey, you snore? Nothing like that. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And yeah, I do snore, but I don't sound like a freight train, so I guess there's that. And I don't snore all the time. Apparently just when I'm really freaking tired, apparently. So, anyway.
That's what I like.
Which is all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? All the goddamn time. But anyway, so, there was that. And other strange news, because it was a weird week for me. I don't have a whole lot to say, but... And another strange thing, my controller has been screwing up. I've got a Series Elite 2, and I've had it for maybe 2 years at this point.
Okay.
I don't remember when I got it exactly. But anyway, I noticed when I was playing the Battlefield 6 beta, some odd reason, the joysticks had, permanent stick drift, and the triggers would automatically go off.
The triggers would automatically go off?
Yes!
Okay.
I was pulling the triggers and firing the gun. I didn't know. I was kind of sick because, I bought the, it's not the special edition Elite, but the one you can go in, you can customize it, put your, gamer tag on it and all that. And I'm like, I spent a bunch of money on this fucking thing. I've had it 2 years. I really don't want it to be going out now.
Let me ask you
But I
this.
noticed. Okay.
Did you notice it in other games?
No, and that was the
Okay,
thing, 'cause I've been playing a lot of
that's
COD
yeah.
and other stuff with it, and I've never had an issue. It was only during the Battlefield app or
Yeah.
a Battlefield beta.
I
And I
think that's
noticed something.
I think that's a game
Mhm.
issue because Mark and I were talking about it. When I turn on Battlefield 6, all the backlights on my mouse and keyboard switch off. And it
Ah.
takes a few minutes for them to come back on. So
Surprise!
I think it's like surprise, you can't see any of the keys anymore. Good luck.
Right.
Hope you weren't playing in the
Well, it sounds
dark.
like me when this went off. I'm like, wait a minute, I just got done playing something else, and I've been, playing COD all this time, and not a problem. But the funny thing about it was, when I go to plug a cable into it, like you're going to charge it, it
Right.
was totally fine. It was only
Interesting.
when it was unplugged. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then yesterday, me and Boomer and Chris and a bunch of us played some more of the beta, and I never had an issue one. So is it my controller or is it the beta?
I mean, I would definitely test it out on other games. That's going to be the surefire way to know.
Right.
It's like the old IT,
Beta.
turn it off, turn it on,
Right.
that kind of thing,
Right.
Yep.
So
Does it happen
Yeah.
with other browsers, right? If it's
Yeah.
not working in Firefox, try Chrome.
Right. Right.
I always
kinda
hated
thing.
that too, though, because ultimately the IT guys are like, I just want you to use Firefox or Edge or not Edge,
Right.
anything but and I'm like, come on, I want to use the browser I want to use. Anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But
Well,
anyway,
Occam's
that
Razor
was-
says it's probably an issue with the game. Hopefully not. It's not an issue with your expensive
What a
controller.
reference. Occam's
Gosh, I
Razor.
hope not.
like it. This is fancy.
We're elevating things a little bit this
I
week.
know.
I got a little.
I
I got a
know.
little
Maybe I should
cocktail
have had
and
you
we're gonna-
host the show. Damn.
Right. I mean, you
Yeah,
brought
just-
me on here and I brought it down. We bring Chris back and he brings it all the way back up. So I guess it balances it out a little.
You
I
gotta
don't
get
know.
ready. Classes start in a week. I gotta start getting
bringing
my
the
head in the.
thesaurus to the freaking podcast.
Right. So other than that, and like I said, I found out I snore. It's been a pretty uneventful week this week. So, how about you there, Tank?
All right.
All right.
It has been a similarly uneventful week in the Matthew house. So I will quickly,
Okay.
and then we'll give Greg the last word because it looks like he has a lot to say.
What do I
So-
Really not. I know, right?
Really
That's
only two things going on around the Matthew house this week. I went to see the new Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
Have,
Fantastic.
has have any of you seen it?
No.
No.
So I would say it was fantastic.
Okay.
Not it's the Marvel universe is still struggling because they had such a high with the 2-part Infinity War and Endgame series, and they're just really struggling to bring the gravity back into it. But I thought they told a good story. I thought the actors did a great job. I was hoping maybe they set up something for future movies, for future bits of the MCU. It was set on an alternate Earth, right? So
Okay.
it was on Earth 828. So if you read the comics, our Earth is Earth 626. And so I thought Marvel was moving away from the concept of the multiverse, but it seems like maybe they might lean back into it a little bit. Not sure.
Was there something post credits?
So post credits, there were 2 post credit scenes, but they
Okay.
didn't introduce anything we don't already know.
Okay. All right.
I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that was my question. Though.
yeah.
It was like, was that maybe where they might have hinted at something? But no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without spoilers, the 2 post credit scenes did not introduce anything we didn't already know.
Are they worth staying for then? That's another question to ask.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
all
I
right.
mean, they're always fun to stay for. Unless you don't want to, then just look it up on YouTube. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I still had some popcorn left, so I wanted to finish my popcorn.
Okay,
you
so
go.
let's just talk about that real fast. I am notorious. So like I get to the movies early because I like to watch the beginning trailers, which my wife honestly
Yeah.
hates because she's like, it's like 20 minutes of sitting there watching a couple commercials, a couple trailers, and we inevitably go through like half the popcorn in that time frame.
Yeah.
And then by about half the movie, I'm done with popcorn. I never have leftover popcorn. I am a popcorn addict, apparently, but I never go refill it, even though I get the free refill. Because, of course, I get the
See, I do.
gigantic thing. So,
I'm not someone who's going to rush out and see the movie opening weekend. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see it midweek in a theater that I think I went with 3 of my friends and 1 of my kids, and aside from those 4 people, 5 people, there might have been 2 other people in the theater.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell us you were like wearing
so
a big over jacket and glasses and hat. And...
snuck all my own snacks in. Yeah. So I don't mind going out and refilling my stuff. Like I know movies well enough to know when we're at kind of a break here.
Right.
This is a time where I can go refill my snacks, maybe use the men's room if I have to, because I'm almost 50 and sitting through a 3-hour movie after I just drank that big Coke, probably got to go to the men's room. So yeah, good times though. Good times. Enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
So go see it. It's fun. It's a fun popcorn flick. And then the other thing that's been going on is this being part of this Federal Service Academy family is a strange kind of, you're very close knit, even though it's people you may not have talked to in 20 years. So out of the blue, my wife, who's also a graduate and a faculty member, got a text from one of our classmates, and it was a second-degree connection to one of our other classmates whose son was on the way to West Point. So every semester we do an exchange. So a handful of West Point cadets will go to the Naval Academy and the Air Force Academy, and a handful of Navy midshipmen and Air Force cadets will come to West Point for the semester. And so just out of the blue, got a text from this person like, hey, this person's son is coming in late tonight. They don't really have a place to stay. And they can't really get on base. Can you, and you just help them, because that's just what you do in this community. So at like 11 o'clock at night, we went to pick this person up in town. They stayed at our house for the night, and then dropped them off down at the report-in desk the next day, because that's just what you do in this weird family that we live in. I don't think that happens in a lot of other career fields, where one of your colleagues that you haven't spoken with in a long time is going to ask you if one of your other colleagues' kids can stay at your house.
I think that is distinctly very much a military kind of vibe. Yeah.
And nice kid. Kind of drove him around, showed him where some of the major landmarks were, and hopefully he'll. We told him we'd invite him back for dinner sometime. Hopefully he'll take us up on the offer. But that's what's been going on in the Matthew house. I'm a little jealous of your list here, Greg. Tell us about tasting vino.
Well, so first off, real quickly though, it was actually nice and refreshing to hear that it was a genuine offer to invite him back for dinner. Because sometimes you throw that out there, it's not really genuine. You just placating the person, being like, "Oh yeah, we'll get together sometime." I hope not.
Yeah. No. So
Right.
we have a handful of cadets from each graduating class that we'll form close relationships with, either because they're in a club that we help with, or they're in our class, and we just kind of get a good rapport, and we'll have them over to the house every now and again. Super Bowl party, college national championship party. Every year we have them all come over and we all carve pumpkins together. Just to give them a chance to get out of the barracks and be normal humans for a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, genuine offer on that.
I love it.
Very cool.
By the way, shout out to Boomer, who finally had a positive kill-death ratio. Good job, Boomer.
Well done.
Yep, indeed.
Let's see. Okay, so last week, and the whole reason why I wasn't on the show, my wife had just said, and it was Thursday night. I'm trying to remember when I told you guys I wasn't going to be able to make the show, but more or less, she was like, "Hey, can we go do something Sunday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take off from the podcast. We've got enough people now." And so we went up to, probably about an hour away from me is an area called Plymouth, Amador County. And there are probably 40 wineries in that area. And so it's, it's not Napa. So the good news there is I don't pay for Napa, but there's still really good wineries there. In fact, Rombauer has a tasting room there. So we went up to to our spot. And we belong to a couple wineries up there. We knew we had to pick up wine anyway, so we made a day of it. Good time, just out in the sun, tasting some wine, eating some food. So I always highly recommend that to anybody if you're going to do something, that has kind of a romantic tinge to it. If you want it to, if you bring a date, take your date wine tasting. It's a good call. Plus, just saying, benefits of wine tasting.
What type of wines are you going for? White wine, red wine? What's your variety?
Yeah, so I do like certain types of white wine, especially if summertime. When it's hot, I really don't care to drink red wine too much when it's hot outside. So I'm more of a Viognier, maybe a Chardonnay. It depends upon the Chardonnay. The real buttery Chardonnays, I'm not a big fan of. I like a little more fruit forward on my Chardonnays because I like them ice cold. So something you could eat with like a sliced apple. That's the way I kind of think about my wine. I do not like grapefruit, so I am not a Sauvignon Blanc person, just because most Sauvignon Blancs have a very grapefruit kind of palate to them. On the red side, I like my big bold reds, so Cabernet Sauvignon. That's Zinfandel, also huge Zin fan. So there you go.
I do not care for Chardonnay. I think it smells like feet.
Yeah.
So.
White wines typically don't have a good bouquet. And so I just try not to smell white wines because usually it's not going to be indicative of the flavor.
I do like Sauvignon Blanc. That's pretty good. And Pinot Grigio.
Yeah.
I learned a few years ago that I had always thought that when someone says Pinot Gris, they're just being lazy and they don't want to say Pinot Grigio.
Right.
But they are two different things. And Pinot Grigio is pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Pinot Gris, not so much. So I learned this. And I just turned my camera.
I love it.
Yeah,
Pinot Grigio. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like that Viognier family. The region we're in is actually very well known for their Barberas. So if you've ever had a Barbera wine, they tend to be a very bold red wine. However, there is a winery there, Villa Toscano. They make a white Barbera, which is going to be very similar to a Pinot Grigio. Very tasty. Now, I'll never forget, we went wine tasting there. We discovered it for the first time. We're on the end counter with there were like two other couples with us, and we're just sitting there, and they had probably like 6 different people working the counter. And so we were getting like all different people coming up to us asking us what wine we were on, because typically speaking, for those that don't know, when you do wine tasting, they'll give you like a list of the wines they're tasting that day. And so you kind of go in order. You get, you try the Pinot Grigio, you try the Chardonnay, then you move on to the next one, the next one, the next one. Well, we liked the white Barbera a lot. And we kept getting different people coming to us. So every time they came to us, they were like, well, what wine are we on now? And we're like, white Barbera. We did that 6 times in a row. So, and it was just a running joke towards the very last person. We couldn't do it anymore. We just were cracking up. But anyway, so yeah, wine tasting was a good time. Kim, are you a wine person?
Every time.
No, you know this. I'm trying, but I have not found one that I like yet.
I just was seeing if you discovered one, just revisiting a little.
Not yet, not
All
yet.
right.
I don't know why. Maybe whiskey is just my thing. I don't know, but and sadly, I
Is
don't even
Thunderbird
hardly drink.
considered a wine?
What is Thunderbird?
Is it the Thunderbird? It was like or no, I'm thinking of Cisco. I don't know. These are drinks from back in the day. Anyway, continue on,
Gotcha.
Kim.
Like Boone's Farm,
Yeah.
that's kind of this thing we were drinking, back when I was younger and stupid. Everybody was about Boone's Farm,
Mad Dog 2020.
Exactly,
Every time Greg talks about Barbera, I'm just picturing Captain Caveman and Fred Flintstone bringing in his wine
right?
in a Barbera cartoons. Is immediately where my head goes.
Right.
So there you go.
Yep.
All right.
What else is going on, Greg?
All right. So I got to cover the gym thing. So I'm at the gym this morning. I'm working shoulders, and this guy is in there, and he's trying to do too much with really bad form. and I'm sure he had some success because I could see like he was just trying to work his arms, right? All he was doing was bicep
Right.
stuff, which okay, fine. Uh, and I should say that he wasn't just doing bicep stuff, but a majority of what he was doing was bicep work. But he would come up and stand in front of the weight racks where like all of the benches where you sit and you do your exercises are behind the weight racks, and there's mirrors along the wall so you can kind of see your form as you're doing the free weights because you want to maintain a good form. But he would just grab the weights right in front of where he was at and then just start doing his exercises, regardless of whether or not you're behind him and he's suddenly
Oh.
blocking your view. So finally, I was just getting irritated. So I just moved to his spot where he had all his stuff, and I just worked out in front of his spot so he couldn't go back to his spot. But yeah, so when it comes to, and I'm working out at Planet Fitness, so it's not like it's like a hardcore gym. It does what I need it to do. It's $10 a month. However, they have this big sign up there, no judgment. No, motherfuckers, I am judging every one of you in there all the time. Just saying now, if you're sitting on a bicycle and you're pedaling with very little effort and you're scrolling through your phone, I am judging you. I'm judging you harshly. I am
need my friends
convinced.
right
I'm
now,
convinced
so-
there are people that go into that gym and they do literally nothing except for look at their phone for about 20 minutes, maybe on a treadmill, not necessarily walking at any kind of pace, and then they leave, and that they're like, I'm going to the gym every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
boy.
Okay. Spray and wash. Can we talk about spray and wash real fast? Are you guys both familiar with spray and wash?
I think we're gonna, whether
Yeah.
we want to or not.
I know we are. So spray and wash.
Right.
If you're, I don't know what the equivalent is in the UK. I'm assuming it might be called the same thing, but this is the it's like spot remover for
Yeah,
your
stain remover
laundry.
For your laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kim knows what I'm
All right,
talking
all right.
about. Mr. Matthew, we're on the same page here.
Yeah, I got you. We use a different brand, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So yeah. So there's what's the brand you use? Just curious.
It's something from OxyClean. It's a stain
Okay.
stick.
There
It's like
you
a
go.
gel that you put on the clothes.
Probably smarter thing to use than what I used. But I use the spray and wash Max. And my son had some stains on his shirt because he had some red pasta and it was a white shirt, and so he had these little dots. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna zap it with some spray and wash, scrub it in there, and we'll let it sit for a little bit and then I'll wash. So I do that. And, when I'm spraying it, I'm like holding his shirt up and I'm, spraying it this way. So I make sure I get the spot. And then I'm like, doing the little rubbing it in thing, right? I'm trying to do everything right. So I'm sitting, I don't know, 10 minutes later, and I'm like, my fingers are tingling. I look down at my 3 fingers and they're white.
Oh dear.
Apparently it has a lot of bleach and peroxide in it. Did not know this. So I had never, I've used it so many times in the past where I've maybe gotten a little bit on me, but I never really thought to wash my hands after getting it on me. This is the first time I've ever had like that kind of reaction with it. I was like, holy crap. And so even to this, like the 3 fingertips are red. So spray and wash, no joke. It will just eat through whatever. Anyway, that's
Prove your
all I had to say
fingerprints.
about spray and wash.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you can
Yeah,
go to,
yeah, true. Now I could go into a life of crime, which is a perfect segue to Sneaky Pete. So this is a new, I don't know if it's going to be a running series or maybe it's a limited series, but it's on Amazon Prime, also on Netflix. And it's called Sneaky Pete. The main character, Giovanni, and I'm just going to forget his last name. He was
BC.
in... Yes, he was in Saving Private Ryan. He was the medic. If you remember the movie Saving Private Ryan, the medic, spoiler, he dies very tragically, kind of horrifically. So he plays the main character. I don't want to give anything away to it, but it looks like it's going to be a very clever, fun, I call it crime drama. It might be more have a little comedy mixed into it, but he plays a con man, and he is in prison. He gets let out, and then he is dodging some individuals looking after him. And that I will leave it at that. But I think it's worth a check out. It's, like I said, on multiple platforms. So if you have Netflix or you have Amazon Prime, I think it's worth a look. And movies, haven't seen it yet, but I'm very intrigued now to see it. A new movie came out called Weapons.
Yes.
It just released on Friday. I had never heard of it, and there was no like pre-up whatever, but it's getting really good reviews apparently.
I
And
saw the preview for this. This was a big nope from me, but go
big
ahead.
nope.
It looks scary. Yeah.
I don't know if it's scary or if it's more because it's not, as far as I can tell, like straight horror. But my guess is the premise is these kids are going missing, and they're being turned into weapons. That's all I can. That's the gist of what I'm getting from this, but I don't know. I was just curious if either of you had heard of it, so I want to see it.
I saw the preview for it, and my initial reaction was no, thank you. But that's just
that was
not that it won't be a good movie. That's just not my genre of film that I like to go watch.
I typically am not a horror guy. I can handle some zombie stuff, like 28 Days Later, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm all about that. But like The Conjuring, no, get out. I don't want to be afraid of the dolls in my house after watching those movies. You're always freaked out by that. So anyway,
Yeah.
yep, that's
All right.
it. So
Fantastic to bring us full circle. Well, we do have a community question, and we're gonna introduce the community question from Commander Corzon, who says, "What was everyone's overall first impression of Battlefield 6? I know we all had some fun last night, but I was having a hard time actually seeing anyone in amongst all of the buildings." I think we should table that question because I think we're going to talk about Battlefield 6 when we get to talking about what we've been playing. So great question, Corzon. Thank you. And we're going to discuss that at length.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
Well, would you like to talk about that right now?
So flip a coin. We can either go into the Battlefield 6 beta right now, or we can each kind of talk about what else we've been playing before we spend the balance of our time on Battlefield 6 beta. What do you think? Let's let Kim decide.
We could talk about everything other than the Battlefield beta and then leave the rest of the remaining time for that. How's that?
All right.
'Cause I
That
have a
sounds
feeling we're gonna
awesome.
We're going to have thoughts, definitely.
All right. Since that was your idea, Kim, I'm excited to hear about what Gail's been up to.
Well, sadly, not a whole lot because I didn't have a whole lot of time to play this week, but I did get to play some. Strangely enough, I watched a TikTok video about things to do in Rivington, and I'd already been to Rivington because technically I'm in Baldur's Gate now, but I realized there was apparently a whole bunch of shit I missed, or I did backwards, go figure. So yeah, I went back to Rivington with my first playthrough, because of course she's the closest one there, and we cleaned up some stuff in Rivington. Like there was a quest for exploding toys, which apparently I did half-ass backwards because it ties into another quest for a guy who's got squatters in his house, and I did that first. Well, then come to find out it ties into this other quest. So there was that. I saved Scratch from the evil woman at the courier's place, which I didn't realize was a deal until I saw the video. So now Scratch is fine. Which Scratch is the dog. If you've not played Baldur's Gate 3 and you don't know, Scratch is the camp dog that you find early in Act 1. Well, at least hopefully early you find Scratch. I don't know. Some people may not have. I don't know. And there's also a turf war between the Zhentarim and the guild at Baldur's Gate. Nine Fingers, what's her name? I can't remember her last name. But anyway, they're having a turf war over a ship carrying a bunch of goods, so you can pick a side, or you could slaughter them all. Well, I decided to be nice since the guild bailed my ass out in another deal, and I helped them eliminate the Zhentarim and took the goodies off the ship. So that's what I did this week in Baldur's Gate. Not a lot, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to do anything, so
Okay.
at least I did something. So
For those who haven't played a lot of Baldur's Gate, Rivington is kind of a small town that you get to just before going into Act 3 into Baldur's Gate proper,
Yep.
into the city proper. Yep,
exactly.
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I did,
Nice.
and it's amazing that for all the stuff that I thought I did and all the people that I talked to, I'm still finding crap that I miss, leading up to it. So then people are like, "How do you have so many playthroughs going?" Well, if you watch this and you see how much crap there is to this game, you would understand because I'm still missing things. So, and I just really like it.
Ah.
So other than that, we played some Call of Duty multiplayer. We had a good time with that, and that's been it for me this week. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we did. We got into Call of Duty multiplayer. I think I managed to catch up with you and Boomer yesterday, soaking up some of that sweet double XP. It is not a lost on me that they dropped a double XP weekend on the
Exactly,
weekend
yeah.
of the Battlefield 6 open beta.
Yeah, part of that it is interesting because I heard some people. I guess there was rumors that Microsoft wasn't very worried about Call of Duty versus Battlefield. I'm wondering if that tune is changing based on the amount of people that have played into Battlefield 6. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they are very different games.
Yes.
Like there's a
Right.
natural comparison between them because they're set in modern times and they're first person shooters, and that's where the similarities are, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I
so-
feel well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's continue on.
Right.
Sorry. I'm going to
So-
totally derail us.
That's what we do every week. We derail ourselves. So speaking of Call of Duty, this week I finished the Modern Warfare 2-2 campaign. I'm saying 2-2 because this is a different Modern Warfare 2 than the one that released in 2011. It's got a lot of the same characters, but completely different story. What initially struck me when I first started playing it was that Soap was not voiced by Kevin McKidd, who was the voice of Soap and the face of Makarov in the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, so real funny sidetrack. I threw up the wrong campaign, so I was
This is Black. Yeah, as soon as I saw
Yeah.
that, I was like, "This is Black Ops." It's okay, tomato kind of thing. So I finished it up. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Mark and I have differing opinions. There's the one mission in the middle where you're chasing somebody down in a convoy through, I think it was Uzbekistan, and you basically have to drive from the back of the convoy to the front. And you can try to keep the same vehicle, but it's constantly taking damage. And so you're really just hopping from vehicle to vehicle. It's very kind of James Bond feeling as you go through that mission. And I thought it was a lot of fun. Mark found it incredibly frustrating. But some of the achievements that they dreamt up for this game were just absolutely diabolical. And the one that immediately comes to mind is the second to last mission. You find yourself facing a guy in a tank, and you're doing so in a training ground with all these pop-up targets all over the place. And the achievement is to shoot all of these targets. But if you die, you have to start over again. There's no checkpoints. So that one was kind of diabolical, trying to find all 33 of them while avoiding
Wow.
getting killed by the tank. But I did eventually find them all, and so that was fun. But yeah, I enjoyed this one very much. I thought I thought the missions were varied enough. They had the driving mission. They have a mission where you're the gunner on an AC-130. They have a couple of missions where you're doing survival. Like you don't have any weapons. You just have to kind of survive and evade. So I thought it was great.
what's interesting
then
is the mission that's up on screen right now, because I just randomly pulled it from Modern Warfare 2 campaign.
Yep.
There was a movie with Mark Wahlberg where he was part of a ranger team, and they
SEAL
were
team.
in Afghanistan, and they were basically running from this wave, like a division of Afghani soldiers that were coming after them. Not Afghani soldiers, the Taliban.
Taliban,
and so
yeah.
they were coming down the hill, just like in this, where they're basically being shot at from above. They're just constantly running, trying to find cover, trying to get down the hill, and taking casualties as they're going down. So,
yeah, Lone Survivor was the
yeah
that
Lone
name of
Survivor.
that movie, which is based off of a book, which is based off of the true story of Marcus Luttrell, who was a SEAL, Navy SEAL.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. I guess maybe I'll fire up Modern Warfare 3 soon-ish. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that this weekend because it was double XP in Black Ops multiplayer. And what better time to grind out some new levels than on double XP weekend?
Did you ever play the Black Ops 6 campaign?
I just finished the mission in the airport.
Okay.
So I'm working my way through the Black Ops 6 campaign, but I just finished the mission in the airport.
All right. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on that once you wrap it up.
It's fun so far. I'm interested to see how it shapes up, but it's fun so far. Yeah.
Okay.
But I spent most of my weekend on Black Ops 6 doing multiplayer because I was grinding out diamond camouflage. And if you're not at all into this, which I thought I wasn't until all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm really close. Let me see if I can do this. To get diamond camouflage, so first you have to do to unlock the camouflages for all your different weapons is headshots, right? So every 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 75, 100 headshots, you get a new camo pattern for your weapon. And then after that, you get like a special challenge, which is like earning double kills or getting multiple kills without letting go of the trigger, or different unique challenges. And you get 2 more special patterns. And then you can unlock the gold camouflage, which is another special challenge. And to unlock diamond, I was doing light machine guns because there aren't very many in the game. And so you had to get gold camouflage on 3 light machine guns before you could even try the diamond challenge. And the diamond challenge really isn't that hard. It's just get 10 double kills, which with a light machine gun isn't really that hard to do. So that's what I spent my weekend doing, was getting gold camouflage on all my light machine guns so that I could get diamond camouflage. Why? Because there's an achievement for it. And like it or not, I do love my achievements.
They have found the right
I think we
system
all do.
to keep
Yeah.
you hooked.
That's right. And that's been my gaming experience, other than the Battlefield 6 beta. So let's circle back to Commander Corzon's question. What are our impressions of the Battlefield 6 beta? So first question, I'm curious, of the 3 of us, which of us spent the most time in it? I think it's probably Kim. How long did you play this for, Greg?
Well, I've been playing it off and on since Thursday, right? I think.
Greg, your voice has changed.
I know. I was just going to
I
say.
know, right?
Yeah, no. So I only played through basically 2 online sessions, multiplayer sessions. One, I jumped into a tank and got it was a machine gunner in the tank, which actually was kind of nice because I racked up 30 kills. Just like we parked like at a perfect section of where they were trying to take control of one of the control points, and we just were mowing people down coming through alleyways and stuff. Anyway, so that's been my experience with it. How about you?
I think Kim's played the most.
Right.
So I've enjoyed it. I will say that I did find it a little frustrating. And maybe I'm looking back with rose tinted glasses, but I don't remember Battlefield 3, which was the last one that I played, or either of the Bad Company games being as frustrating as this one. The terrain
frustrating how?
The terrain is done really well. The terrain looks amazing, and the soldier models look amazing, and the vehicle models look amazing. Everything looks amazing. In some cases, too amazing. I'm having a really hard time picking out the enemies among the terrain and among the urban landscapes. And then we played one match. I can't remember. Were you with us on that one, Kim? It was me and Mark and a couple other folks, and we were playing the breakthrough game mode, which is where you
Is
have
that on?
to.
Yeah, the sniper one.
Yes, the
Was that
sniper
the
one.
snipers? Yes.
So so the game mode is you have a series of objectives you have to capture or defend. Um, and so we were on the attack, and as soon as you start, the whole mountainside is just all those lens flares from all the sniper scopes. Just seemed like 100 of them. It was
Yep.
like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and so we were just getting sniped, boop 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 boop. And so I found that to be incredibly frustrating. It's like I can see the lens flare, I should be able to shoot it, but and I know get good, right? But so I have had fun with it. Kim and Boomer and I got in a session a little bit yesterday, and we didn't do great, but we had fun, which is probably what I'm remembering from the other Battlefield games. Is that we were never really all that great at it. We just had a lot of laughs.
Right.
So I'm on a wait and see on this one, depending upon how many of the community members actually go in and buy it. Because if I'm not going to play this by myself, like I'll play Call of Duty, I'll just go jump in a lobby and play that. I'm not great, but I'm good enough to have fun with it. I don't want to play this one with randoms because you really got to work as a squad. I don't know. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I had a good time with it, but I liked Battlefield well before I got into COD, so this is good for me. But yes, the sniper deal was incredibly frustrating. I got to a point where I just found somewhere and hid and threw rockets at them because if you stepped out from behind cover anywhere, you were gone.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just sitting there, throwing rockets at it and hope I hit something. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But yeah, and I'm with you on the whole trying to pick them out because even I had trouble with that because it seemed like the camo they were wearing matched in, and I know it's supposed to. I know that's the deal, but it just seemed like it matched in really well with everything. So then I'm constantly second guessing. Okay, is that the bad guy or is that somebody on our on the other team or what is that? And because sometimes the little orange or the little blue dot didn't always show up when it was supposed to. So there was but I mean, other than that, I had a good time with it. And my kill death ratio sucks, but then in that it always has. Because it's not the little Twitch shooter like what COD is. By the time I find them, they've already found me and I'm dead. But at least I played the objective. So that's where I would, excel at.
Yeah. So I think I'm with both of you in terms of thoughts on the game. I mean, it looks great. It plays very well in that the shooting mechanics feel good. It is very reminiscent of previous Battlefield games. And the only games that it's not really reminiscent of are the early Battlefield games. And when I say that, it's because the early Battlefield games I played on console, and those early Battlefield games also were a little more limited in the amount of people in the match. So it had a little bit more of an intimate feeling. I think there were 24 players. That was the max back in the day. And so, that intimacy allowed for a little bit more forgiveness in gameplay. In these big sprawling matches where I think, was it 64? I don't even know how many.
I think it's 64.
Yeah. It's just constant chaos. And so that's my only gripe with Battlefield. And I think it is the differentiator between Battlefield and Call of Duty. Call of Duty is also like, there's constant chaos to it to a degree, but it's just a different level. And Call of Duty still has that intimacy. Although they do have their Warzone gameplay, you can do that, but the main multiplayer feels much more of like that more close-knit fight between 12 on 12 or whatever it is. I think it's 16 on 16. I don't know.
I think it's 6 on 6.
Is it? I don't even.
Well, most of the modes that I played,
okay,
it's 6 on 6.
So yeah, it feels more compact. You don't feel like, with exceptions, we've had this happen, where it's such a frustrating moment. Whereas Battlefield, two things will happen in Battlefield that will drive me crazy. And it happens in Call of Duty too, don't get me wrong, but it's somebody who's really good at aircraft, especially a helicopter. They know how to, kind of manipulate the mechanics of the helicopter to where they just constantly are flying around. They're never getting killed, and they're just raking up kills. Or the super sniper squads where you're having 4 different squad members perched up on a hill. They're just all they're doing is sniping, like you guys encountered. That gets very frustrating very quickly. So I'm kind of with Chris in that I'm a little bit wait and see. I mean, I liked what I played. I probably want to get it. I'm actually really curious to see what the campaign is going to bear out to be, because I think that's going to be the tipping thing for me. If the campaign, if I hear reports back the campaign is crap again, I'm likely waiting on Battlefield 6, either on a sale or for EA to be like, it's on EA Plus.
Yeah.
So
I'm afraid if we wait that long, nobody will be playing it anymore. I think it's definitely a community-based game.
Yeah.
And, it's only going to be fun as long as the community are playing it, really. At least that's my thoughts on it. That's when Battlefield 3, which is, again, the last one that I played, was the most fun, was when we would have 2 full squads of G4TEers, all in an Xbox Live party. Most of us probably had a few too many, and we're just having a great time.
Well,
I die, repeat, but we were just laughing about it.
I mean, I think back to Bad Company, and that I think is my most fondest memory of, because that's when they first introduced the destructibility, and it was still kind of that more intimate setting of not huge teams, and you still had the craziness of having walls blown out and you're being exposed, but it didn't happen at just the crazy pace it happens in Battlefield 6 and honestly all of the Battlefields. I think Battlefield 1 might have been the lone exception, but even that, as I think back now, it's like, no, there were times where it just felt you could not. It's very reminiscent of World War I, probably. You're trying to make headway towards an objective and you're just constantly dying. You're just throwing bodies at it. And maybe that's the thing I don't like about Battlefield. I think part of the solution to Battlefield is being able to smartly get your squad in with spawn markers to be able to constantly just push people into an area and overwhelm, as opposed to just actual good, smart squad tactics.
Yeah. That was one of the things, and maybe it just comes with more gameplay, but I thought one of the hallmarks of the older Battlefield games was, even on, I'm thinking of there was this one desert map on Battlefield 3, and the 3 objectives were just all in a row. But even on that map, where the 3 objectives were all in a row, if you were careful, you could always find a way to kind of go around to get to an objective. And I was having a real hard time with that on this one. Probably with more gameplay.
Yeah, was it
those
Rush?
Things will.
Was it like something Rush?
Well, Rush was one of the game modes.
But this one was,
which has been replaced by Breakthrough.
Yeah, but I remember what you were talking about. It was like there was 3 control points, but it would only open up the second one when the first one fell. The problem
that was Rush game mode.
Yeah, the problem you would get was people would start camping out the second spot, and so the minute the first one fell, because they would just be shooting basically from behind you.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
We'll see.
Kim, you day one purchase here?
I think she already is.
Oh yeah, it will be for me. So.
All right.
Me and Boomer and some of the others have already talked about it, so I'm pretty sure. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So Kim is leading the Battlefield charge.
I know.
There will be a squad of us. So.
And I'll likely cave to the peer pressure of the group.
Right.
And then
I can't say I'm good at it. I will die repeatedly, but I do that on God. So.
I haven't bought a game in a long time, so I guess I can buy this game.
There might be
Game Pass just keeps giving.
There might be another game to talk about here. So you skipped over me, which it's okay. I'm not offended.
I did.
But that's okay. Best for last.
There is. Yeah.
So I just on a
Well,
whim.
ready or not, Greg.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Ready or not. That's what I want to talk about,
Nice.
baby. So ready or not. It is a spiritual successor to the game SWAT 4. So if you are remotely familiar with SWAT 4, it is very Rainbow Six, kind of Rainbow Six Vegas like. I won't even say Rainbow Six Siege, not really. You play the role of a SWAT commander of a team. You have a team of 5, including yourself. This 100% reminds me of Rainbow Six Vegas. The terrorist hunt gameplay also very much like that. However, the interesting mix to this is one, there are no saves. You start your campaign. Your officers are with you. They can die. You can recruit more in, and bullets matter. So you can die very quickly. Also, the interesting component to it is your primary goal often is not killing, it's arresting. So you're going into, like, I cleared out this drug house. You're going in. Your main goal was trying to basically get this gang that were selling drugs, and they had a drug lab there. But as you're going into this drug house, there's a bunch of just people that are hopped up on drugs in the house. On top of it all, a couple people that were quote unquote basically there wanting to leave and weren't they were not allowed to leave by the gang. So it's this mix of combat but also arresting. And so you have kind of an orders button where you're going into a room and you see somebody in front of you holding a knife, and you're like, you start hammering your command button, and you hear your officer giving the orders of drop the knife, and there's just an intensity to this that I cannot I can't explain. It's better than the Rainbow Six vibe I got from back with Vegas in those days, and I loved that game. This is very methodical. It's slow paced. You cannot sprint in this game. You have 2 movement options, which is walking upright or in a somewhat crouched mode. And it's slow and slower. And you have to go into a room. You will check the closets. You may see, like, I had somebody hiding under a bed, and I started having to, call out commands, put your hands up, get down. And there's been a couple times where people have had a weapon. It was dropped, and as I'm, starting to move towards them to make the arrest, they get up, pick the weapon up, and start shooting. So also the great thing is the respawns. This is a horrible example on screen, by the way, because it's showing it's like glitching out, I think, on this guy being shot. But it won't respawn characters the same way. So if you play the map again, because I've restarted the campaign a couple different times, just kind of learning some of the ropes. All the character placements and combatants are different. So the locations are the same, but where you encounter and who you encounter is going to change. And I'm just absolutely loving it. The other cool thing about it, Mark, you'll be happy to hear this if you listen to this, it is play anywhere. So I bought it on the Xbox Series X, but my brother from another could play this on PC. And it does have cross-play support with PC and PlayStation. So I have yet to actually play it with other people. I've just been playing it solo so far. But I've just really enjoyed, and I think it's that intensity of the search and going through, another mission. It was nighttime. You're going through with night vision goggles on. So everything, it just, again, has that even more claustrophobic feel. So yeah, I've very much been enjoying this game. So, ready or not, it's a surprise hit, and apparently it's actually been doing quite well as well. I guess this is a re-release. They originally had it on PC, and then they updated it to bring it to console, and yeah, so far so good. I will say, it's not perfect. There are some times where it gets buggy, glitchy, where your squad, because they're AI, they're following you, and they might get caught up in a doorway. And it's funny because the SWAT team members be like, "Sir, are you going to move?" So they're trying to get through, and you're blocking them. But one other just example of a situation, we were going into a apartment complex, and I went in through the main terrace, and so it was kind of like an atrium, opening, and then there were stairways kind of on either end, but you had to kind of make your way to it, but you were exposed from above, and I wasn't thinking about that at all. And as we got onto the second floor, I walked out onto that terrace, and suddenly bullets are just coming. I'm like, where the hell are we getting shot from? I'm looking. It's from above us. And so, and he had the superior firing position. One of my officers went down. We returned fire, took him out. But I mean, it was, it's just kind of one of those intense moments. There's been other times where I've like opened a door, I round the corner, and there's a person right there. And, you're either shooting or you're calling out a command. And you'll get downranked, because basically at the end of each mission, you will get kind of ranked, like S rank for the best playthrough. So killing civilians apparently is not a good thing.
No?
Go figure. I would have never guessed.
Yeah. But anyway, so if you are jonesing for Rainbow Six Vegas-like gameplay, but something different, and this is where, like, I was thinking about, Rainbow Six Siege when we did the terrorist hunts game. We loved those game moments. The big difference is you go into those missions, you are killing everybody. Your goal is kill them all, defuse the bomb, maybe find the hostage. I'm trying to remember. I think there were some hostage escort missions to bring them back out, but it more or less was hunt and kill. Here, pretty much every mission so far, you're going in to make arrests. You're going into, you're not going in to try and kill everybody. And so it just changes the gameplay dynamic. And also there is something just very satisfying about being able to make somebody drop a weapon when you get the drop on them. Commanding them, get on their knees, turn around. And there is, it's pretty funny. There's basically you can give them like a kind of a punch with like your gun to kind of get them to, adhere to your command. And again, don't do it to civilians once they've already knelt down and put their hands up. The game marked me down for that.
Every time, abusive. Mark you down.
But yeah, so ready or not, good times.
Good times. Well, ready or not, for the two of you, it's quiz time.
Oh boy.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
Too bad. Okay, so this week's quiz is brought to you by Battlefield. We have the... So since it's the Battlefield 6 open beta, I did a little bit of research on some Battlefield-like games to talk about in this week's quiz. So I'm gonna try to follow along, see if maybe Boomer and Lord want to play along this week. But we're gonna talk through some games that are like Battlefield. And I flipped a coin before the show and determined that Greg is going to get the first word. Okay. And so the first game in this week's quiz is Insurgency, subtitle Sandstorm, which was a 2018 release. I'm going to put that in the chat for the people playing along. Yes. Insurgency Sandstorm 2018, and we're specifically looking at the PC version.
Okay. I know this game.
That's a good start.
It's a good start. I was always tempted to try and play it, I heard it was kind of one of those, more realistic shooters, so to speak. Never got around to it. Not gonna lie. I feel like it's a 75. I'm feeling 75. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Greg is saying 75. All right. Kim, what are your thoughts? Insurgency Sandstorm on the PC.
Heard of it, never played it. I'm gonna be a little bit nicer than Greg, and I'm gonna go 80.
Kim's going to go 80. Ooh, type that in a little better. And Boomer is playing along from the chat, and he says 75 as well.
Whatever, Boomer.
Actual answer 78.
Oh,
so
right.
so Kim takes a 1 point lead, one point lead in the first round. There we go. Okay.
Damn you, Kim.
round
Right?
2. This one you've both heard of. Kim, you have the first word this time. And this game is, so I learned today that there's a Star Wars Battlefront and a Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 20 years ago. And then there's a Star Wars Battlefront and a Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 8 years ago. And we're talking about the one from 8 years ago. So we're talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 release. And we're looking at the PS4 version. So this is the one with Iden Verso and Inferno Squad. And we're looking at the PS4 version. Let's see. Throw that in the chat for the chatters. While you think about it.
Okay. 86.
Kim says 86. All right. Greg, Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 4.
So I remember this game coming out, and I believe, as I recall, they had a campaign in this game.
Yep.
And it was horrible. It was.
I mean, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, it's my opinion. Yeah, I get that. But the campaign, if I remember correctly, it more or less turned into some cutscenes, then taking you into basically some bot matches in the Battlefront 2 kind of maps. So I think this is closer to like an 82.
Greg says 82.
I don't think, especially early on, I don't think it reviewed that high. I think it got knocked a lot for some problems and also not being terribly inspiring.
So I think you should play the campaign on this one. I've played through the campaign, and it actually is an interesting story, and not really bot matches. But that said, Boomer says it's 90, and you all were very generous. The reviewers were unkind, and this one got a 68 on the PlayStation 4. I think it just had a rocky launch from a technical perspective. I think the matchmaking wasn't good, and it just it needed some patches to bring it up to snuff. But if you haven't played the campaign on that one, I'd recommend checking it out. It's actually a pretty interesting story.
All right.
The next Battlefield clone is World War I, subtitle Verdun, Western Front, which was released in 2016. And we're looking at the Xbox One version. Xbox One, World War I, Verdun, Western Front. And we are back to Greg with the first word.
It's going to want to go one of two ways. This was either like the sleeper media darling that nobody played, or it was complete garbage and nobody played. I'm going with the latter. I'm going to say 67.
Greg says 67. All right, Kim. World War I, Verdun, Western Front. Ruler comes in with an 80.
I'm going to say 70.
Kim is going to say 70. You were all very generous to this game.
Oh, wow.
The actual score was 46.
Wow.
So it was the other one, Greg. You should have gone with your first thought.
Definitely the other one.
Or you should have gone with your second thought. Sorry. Second
Well,
thought.
I mean, it was my second thought. I just wasn't second
Like,
thought enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
should have
weren't low
committed to the.
enough,
Yeah.
You should
was
have
afraid to
committed
go
to the
too
bit.
low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
You should have committed to the bit.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
Whoops. The next game to make sure I had to take a little bit of license here
Okay.
in order to make sure we get Nintendo in there. So we're looking at Overwatch on the Switch, which is close enough.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
Not quite
we're-
Battlefield-esque, but you know.
Yeah, it's it was slim pickings. And let's see, we're back to Kim having the first word. So Kim, Overwatch on the Switch.
Switch. I'll be nice. I'll say 74.
Kim is going to say 74. All right. Over to you, Greg. Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch.
So, I mean, one, Overwatch, it's a polished product. So you'd have to think the Switch port would be somewhat good. However, in my infinite wisdom, I do not believe it was received well. I think it actually was received very poorly. So I'm just going to safely say 65. Probably too generous to this game.
Greg says 65, and Boomer comes in with 70. You had the right idea, Greg, but you were a little too harsh this time. The actual answer was 73. So with a 74, Kim almost nailed it right on. So it was a close match this week. Kim with 45 points off of the total. Greg with 46 points off of the total. So, one point either way, and it's anybody's match. So well done on your Metacritic Madness quiz.
Nice job,
for this week.
Alrighty.
We skipped new releases. I'm happy continuing to skip new releases. Or excuse me, we skipped the free games that we pay for. I'm happy to continue with skipping the free games we pay for and go straight to the news.
Yeah, the only ones I
unless
updated was the only ones I updated were the Prime ones, and they're fine. I mean, there wasn't anything earth-shattering in there, so.
Saints Row 4 re-elected on Amazon Prime wasn't worth mentioning.
Civilization 3,
Not for me, 'cause
the
I never-
complete game. Thief, the definitive edition, but those are all probably already announced.
Civilization 3, wow. Like the latest, I think they just released Civ 7, so that one was a while ago.
The Mega Filthy Animals Heist Simulator.
See.
Just-
Okay, that one might be worth something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to that.
So we're on
Very
to the
well.
news.
We're on to the news.
Here is the fucking news.
All right. First up for discussion, Microsoft has stopped development on Avalanche Studios' Contraband. Stephen Tottilo's GameFile newsletter initially reported that the game, which has been in development at Avalanche Studios, has ceased active development. GameFile says Microsoft declined to comment on Contraband's status, but that a source told the publication that the game had been in production for 5 years but was now on hold. Fire the laser. Since the report was published, Avalanche has now posted a statement confirming that the game is on hold, stopping short of saying it has been outright canceled. Active development is now stopped while we evaluate the product's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community since we announced, and we'll give an update on what's next as soon as we can. I know you're probably disappointed about this, but I'm interested to hear what you think, team. Are we worried? Are we missing out?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what Contraband was.
All
honestly.
we got was, if you remember, the reveal for Contraband was like a shot of a garage in a jungle. They had some cool 70s like rock playing. I think it was like a Margaritaville type song. And then the logo. That was it.
Right.
We've never seen gameplay. We don't know what this was about. We believe it was some kind of heist kind of game. But so hard to say we're missing out. We don't know what we were missing. What I do find curious is this was not announced with all of the layoffs and the closures and stopping of other games back when they did that big round. So,
Right.
I mean, was it like they had another meeting with these guys and said, "Okay, show us what you got," and they're like, "Yeah, we don't got nothing." And they're like, "Well, okay, that's
Right.
it."
Like we got this great still shot of a garage. It's some sweet music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And that's
super
what they've been doing for
curious,
5 years.
but yeah,
You know.
I don't know what we're missing because we never knew
Yeah.
anything.
And we
Okay.
and we may never know.
According to Google, Contraband was supposed to be a co-op smuggler's paradise set in the fictional world of 1970s Bayan. So, I guess.
I can get down for that, even if I have an
Yeah.
authoritarian kink, apparently, according to somebody in the chat.
You got that, did you?
I like to play the robber
You're the one who
sometimes, you
set
know.
up. All right. But yeah,
Well,
that's
there we go.
yeah. Apparently that's what that was supposed to be. Like I said, I had to look it up to remember even what the hell it
Yeah.
even was. It's been so, it's been so long ago. So
Same,
either that or
same.
my memory's just shit. You know.
So we don't know what we're missing out on. We may never know what we missed out on.
Yeah.
Right.
Rip
Right.
Contraband. Over to some Sony news. Sony's chief financial officer says its live service shift is not entirely going smoothly, but pledges to carry on and learn from mistakes. I love that. Not entirely going smoothly. In a Q&A
right.
session following the company's latest financial results, one caller asked its panel of executives for an update on the current status of PlayStation's live service plan and where it sees the issues when it comes to improving its live service game. Sony CFO Lin Tao replied that despite the negativity surrounding Sony's live service offerings, thanks to the issues with Concord and Marathon, she still believes live service games are worthwhile because they've added a revenue stream that didn't exist for the company 5 years ago. Last year, Concord shut down, and this year, Marathon was postponed. So somewhat negative news has been coming out, Tao said. But if we look at the past 5 years, 5 years ago, live service games were almost non-existent for PlayStation Studios. We now have Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox, Major League Baseball The Show, and Gran Turismo 7, and Bungie's Destiny 2. So we have these 4 live services contributing to sales and profits in a stable manner. Ooh, that's a lot of corporate speak for it's not really working, but we're going to keep doing it because it makes us money. Yeah. Greg,
So-
you're itching to say something.
So it just dawned on me. So out of the 4 live service games they mentioned, 3 of 4 are on competitive platforms. So, MLB The Show is on Xbox. Bungie Destiny on Xbox, on Steam. Helldivers 2 on Steam, now coming to Xbox. So, that was interesting. I hadn't drawn that correlation until you read them out, and I was like, huh, yeah, go figure. The live service stuff, I feel like it is like the golden carrot all of these companies want. Because it is just a money maker. When you hit big, it's just like they said, it's this revenue stream that they've in previous iterations never had. So I think more than anything, this live service stuff has really shaped, and this is foreshadowing for another news story coming up, but I think it is reshaping some of Sony's plans and how they're attacking the industry. Speaking of attacking,
All right.
There's a cat.
Speak. Hey, what's up?
Molly, right in my back.
You all right? Need a second?
Yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm good.
There we go. All right, we got cat speaker wrangling cats live on air. Professional cat wrangling. There we go. Let's see. 2 years. 2 years from it's been 2 years. 2 years on from Baldur's Gate 3's release, Larian asks fans to be patient for its next crazy thing. Larian's CEO, Sven Vinke, says he's desperate to share details about the studio's next game, but he asks fans to be patient for its reveal. having previously said the studio was moving on from Baldur's Gate and Dungeons and Dragons to make a new thing. Vinky said Larian is aiming to entertain players in a surprising way with its new title. Crazy to think it's been only 2 years, he wrote, but it's truly been life-changing, probably worth writing about one day. But I can spoil the biggest takeaway. Baldur's Gate 3 was what allowed us to do our next crazy thing. So what do we think is the next crazy thing?
Dragons!
That was a little broken up, but it sounded like maybe we resurrected Jenkins from 20 years ago.
We did.
All right.
That's
the next
good thing is
crazy-
the stream heard it perfectly fine.
Right.
They're making a dance game. Clearly, they're making a dance
Obviously,
kind of
yes.
game, yeah, which will break Kim's heart.
Yeah. I've got enough other things to play out. I'm sure I'll be fine. I just bought Original Sin Divinity 2, so, I'm set. I'm set for another, 6, 12 years.
So
I
mean,
still finish
so
Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be fine.
so here's the question for you, Kim, because you are the biggest Larian fan. Well,
I guess.
maybe Mr. Matthew.
Although, I don't know, maybe not. I'm not camping out in his front yard waiting to see what the next big thing is, but I guess I could
If
start.
you could, you would. But knowing that they're not going Baldur's Gate, knowing that they're moving away from
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons,
Right.
here's the question: what genre? Genre might not be the right way to phrase it. What kind of setting are you hoping they go for? That's the better way to put it. So, spy thriller, modern day. What
Right.
what do you envision or your hope is that they do now that they're not doing D&D, they're not doing Baldur's Gate.
Right. Well, I don't know. I like their take on the fantasy thing, so I mean, it'd be nice if they stuck with that because I have played the first Divinity, or well, maybe I haven't finished it, but I have played it, and of course Baldur's Gate, and I like that too. And I realize they're not going back to Dungeons and Dragons, but they were screaming before they thought maybe they were going to do Divinity 3, so maybe I don't know. I mean, I think it would be totally out of left field if they went like in a totally different direction, but I mean they could. So there's your classic non-answer answer, I guess.
I'm liking the idea of a dance game that comes with a little desk-sized Dance Revolution pad. You have to dance on your desk.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think that sounds like it. That's got to be it. Mark that down as my big prediction for next
All
summer. Although it says they're not planning to release a game until 2028, so I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit.
It's going to be a little bit.
I just want somebody to make. There was a game, and I think was it Obsidian might have made it, or maybe it wasn't Obsidian. Maybe it was somebody else, but maybe it was Silicon Knights. It was a spy RPG. Do you guys, either of you remember? I'm gonna have to.
I don't remember that one.
Google it.
Jump into Google machine.
Right? Probably bring up
No.
something about propel grenades.
I don't know. I'm not
Not getting
gonna find it
anything
anytime soon. Yeah.
So while Greg looks for that,
keep looking. I'll keep.
PlayStation says it is moving away from hardware centricity. Senior Vice President Sadahiko Hayakawa noted via Genki_JPN that PlayStation is gearing up to ditch its hardware-centric business, moving toward a more engagement-based platform. In the gaming business, we are moving away from a hardware-centric business model more to a platform business that expands the community and increases engagement, Hayakawa said to investors, responding to a question about Sony's investment in intellectual property. Sony has invested in Kodakawa of Elden Ring and Dark Souls fame, and also invested in Bandai Namco, among various others. So what I just read is we're all going to be PC gamers very soon, because Microsoft keeps saying, this is an Xbox, and my VR, which is in another room, is an Xbox, and your TV is an Xbox. So they're saying they don't want to make Xboxes anymore. PlayStation just said they don't want to make PlayStations anymore. It's just your choices are going to be PC gaming or Nintendo Switch, and you just get to choose which storefront you're going to use, I guess. Anybody read anything different?
Slightly different. And this is because I'm looking at Microsoft's model, and I truly think Microsoft's model is going to be less focused about being the hardware maker. They'll still make hardware, but their business does not revolve around their hardware, and that's Sony's current business model. It is all about the PlayStation hardware. So if Sony can get to a point where it's the ecosystem, aka Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, that they're getting people to buy into, and you can play it on any number of machines, and maybe they license out PlayStation, similar to what I think for sure Xbox is going to do. You're going to see third-party Xbox consoles in the next generation. Somebody was actually saying it was pretty interesting, the notion of what if they actually allowed the chipsets to be licensed out for like cloud servers, and suddenly you could have third-party cloud platforms that allowed you to play your PlayStation games as well as your PC games, as well as So I do think we are getting to that stage of a no console future. Not that there's not going to be consoles, but it's just that the consoles aren't going to be walled off gardens anymore. The consoles are going to be a way to access your games through an ecosystem that you like Xbox or PlayStation. But it once you get through that door, you actually can go left, right, or straight to wherever your games are at.
Speaking of, you just reminded me of something I noticed this month. So if you pay attention to your Xbox rewards, which I do, every month you get a certain number of points for playing 4 games on Game Pass, and you get more points for playing 8 games on Game Pass. I noticed that this month, Grand Theft Auto 5 has shown up in the games that I've played on Game Pass. And that may not seem strange because Grand Theft Auto 5 is available on Game Pass. What is strange about that is I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 through Steam. I installed Grand Theft Auto 5 through Steam, and I launched Grand Theft Auto 5 through Steam and then the Rockstar launcher, never touching the the Xbox app.
Right.
Yet it showed up in one of the games that I've played on Game Pass. So that integration of Xbox and Steam storefront seems to be happening behind the scenes a little bit. I just thought that was interesting. And you reminded me of it.
Last month, I had the same thing happen with Baldur's Gate 3. It showed up on that thing when you play a game. But Baldur's Gate 3 is not a Game Pass game. So I
believe, and I could be wrong, so chat definitely let me know, but I want to say there was an update that came out that they announced that the Xbox app did an update. It would now allow you to launch any game you own that's on your PC through the Xbox app, whether or not it's in the Xbox or Microsoft ecosystem or not. So it will now see all of your games regardless of where they sit, and you can launch them as long as they're installed on your PC. You'll see them, and you can launch from the Xbox app.
Might have to do another scan. My Xbox app doesn't currently show my Steam library, but that's probably a good thing because my Steam library is huge, and I don't want that cluttering up my Xbox app.
I think it has to be installed, though. I think that's the caveat.
Okay.
If it's installed on your computer, it'll see it, and you can launch from there. If it's just your library, install it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, random aside there as we're thinking about being non-hardware centric, the future. Yes, Discord. It's the future. Come find us on Discord, the Overseas Connection community. Speaking of things happening in the future, Miss Woods, if you would please tell us about our upcoming releases.
Okay, we have a lot of PC games, which it seems like summertime we always have a lot of PC games. So here we go. Firefly Village for the PC on August 11th. Echoes of the End. Alright. Sounds like if you got a really bad case of gas or something, but whatever. Echoes of the End for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on August 12th. Fallen City Brawl for the PC on the 12th as well. Shields of Loyalty also for the PC on the 12th. Fractured Core, never mind, I won't even go there, for the PC on August 13th. A Fistful of Yankees for the PC on August 14th. I don't know, is that like a...
game?
I hope so. Or, you know, are we fighting the Civil War all over again? I mean, I don't know. Drag X Drive for the Switch 2 on August 14th. Madden NFL 26. Oh god, Tony will be excited. For the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC on August 14th. And last but not least, we have Ovis Loop for the PC as well on August 14th. And those are your new releases.
Well, I just looked up A Fistful of Yankees because I wanted to see what it's about. So, so when you say A Fistful of Yankees, right, we should immediately think of Fistful of Dollars, right? Clint Eastwood movie, right? And so it is indeed. A Fistful of Yankees is a tactical Western real-time strategy game set in the Wild West, where players lead a squad of Yankee soldiers. You lead a squad of Yankee soldiers to combat bandits and outlaws. There you go.
Interesting.
I love the notion of real-time strategy games, and then I play through like the tutorial, and then I get into an actual mission, and it just all falls apart. Inevitably, and I'm just like, my mind does not work that way. So I was really hopeful about Bad Company 3, by the way, because they actually have you can basically stop and give orders. So they kind of give you the ability to turn it into a turn-based, but I think the gameplay still is driven around the RTS kind of component to it. So you're still jumping back and forth between different spots on the map to, support this or, start producing these units, and that drives me nuts. So anyway, that's it.
There we go. Well, if any of those games sounded interesting to you, you can come play them with us. You can find out what we're playing on our Discord server. You can check us out. We have our regular play dates, Tuesdays, sometimes Thursdays. We get together and we play some shooting games. Lately, we've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, but Mr. Mark Wright has said maybe we should try something else. So I'm open to suggestions. And then on Fridays, we're pretty good about the 8 p.m. UK time. 8 p.m. Central tends to be just me. So if you want to play games Fridays at 8 p.m. Central, I'll be there, and we'll see who else turns up. Greg,
do think,
if
by the
people
way,
want to,
on the 26th, things will be changing. We might be doing some
yeah.
dropping.
I think it's time. I think it's time to get some of y'all to drop in. Yeah, it should be a good time.
Gears will be coming out, the reloaded one.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be. It's going to cost you nothing. It's on Game Pass. So
yeah,
it is cross-play.
It's nothing but
PlayStation,
time.
So.
My backlog of games is embarrassing, and I'm just not that excited about Gears of War Reloaded,
Fair.
or Reloaded, Remastered, re whatever it is, right? Because this is like the second redo of Gears of War. Yeah. Refried Gears of War.
Yeah. I won't be excited for Gears until E-Day. That's the game that's on my radar. That's the big one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could be convinced to do a little chainsaw, but I'm definitely going to be doing my part. I'm going to be part of the greater good, the cause, and drop in.
Spreading managed democracy.
Yes.
Yeah, got to get in there. Cool. If anybody else wants to help us spread managed democracy, how do they get a hold of us, Greg?
Well, you can always try and email us. ocpodcast@gmail.com. We may or may not listen to you and reply back within a significantly small window. It might be a very large month-long window, but we will respond eventually. We're also on Twitter that we check so not so frequently. We're on Facebook, where Kim, thank God, Kim is actually on it. She manages all of
I'm on
that.
Twitter too, so
Okay.
you know.
I'm on Twitter too, but the podcast Twitter, Kim. This is what I'm talking about. You
Right.
manage the Facebook stuff. You're I don't want to say Johnny on the spot. You're Jane on the spot when it comes to the Facebook stuff.
I have no life, so it's okay.
But, yeah. But you know what you could do, Chris? If you're listening to this, like Boomer or Lord, I think there's some other maybe, you could always give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, you could subscribe. If you've already subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe. That's the way you play the game these days, man. That's the way you play the
Create
game.
a fake email address and subscribe again.
Just saying. How many boomers out there? There's got to be like 5,033. Boomer 5,034. Boomer 5,035. 5,000. You know, this. You see this boomer. Come on. Do your part.
There's at least 5 because he's Boomer MD5. So there must be a Boomer MD 1 through 4 somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right. There we go. Since you're already here, Greg, why don't you tell us who you want to shout out?
Boy. I want to shout out Mark, who was very scaredy cat of Ready or Not. And he was lamenting the fact that he was going to have to play it on the Xbox. Guess what, Mark? You get to play it on your PC. You're welcome again. Uncle Greggles, giving, loving. Football's back, baby. I am so pumped for the season, even with injuries. And we had drastic injury this past week. We lost our left tackle to a patella tendon tear, and yet I still have a rosy outlook on this season. And in fact, we're going to get off this podcast, and I'm going to cook up some steak or chicken, maybe steak and chicken, I'm not sure which, on the barbecue, and I'm going to have the big screen TV on and the Chargers Saints preseason game on, which absolutely means nothing. There'll be no starters playing, but I will watch every minute of that game.
Except for the starters that get lost for the season after a season-ending injury during preseason play. Are they still doing 4 preseason games? I thought they had shortened it.
No, they only do 3, with the exception of if you play the Hall of Fame game, which the Chargers did. So they have 4. Same with the Detroit Lions.
All right.
Everybody else only has 3. But they're doing like these inter-team practices as a way to get a 4th game in, so to speak, because they do pretty much like live play in those
scrimmage.
Those scrimmages are probably better for teams than the preseason games, because the preseason games, you're playing all your second and third stringers. The scrimmages, first teams go. So, anyway, that's it. Me, Kim.
Alrighty, I'm going to shout out Lord and Boomer, who were in the chat today. So thanks, guys, for dropping in and playing our little quiz and whatnot. We appreciate it. Shout out to everybody else. Hope you have a good week this week. Shout out to you guys as always, because this is my adult time. Although speaking of which, the school starts next week, so I get to get back on my usual schedule, which will be nice. Other than that, like I said, have a good week. Hopefully it doesn't get too warm. Although to be fair, it could stay warm. I don't care. I don't particularly like winter. So anyway, enough rambling for me. Over to Chris.
Oh wait.
All right.
Real quickly.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Real quickly.
I want to shout out Robin. I've seen him posting a couple Twitters, tweets, Twitters. Man, that made me sound really old. He doing his racing thing, that kind of thing, and then he left me a message, so I wanted to play that for you. Potato. That's all he said. I'm not sure what he meant, but we messed around. Anyway, okay.
Come on back anytime, Robin. Well, since we're talking about potatoes, I guess I'm going to shout out Samwise Gamgee. Because he boils them, smashes them, and cooks them in a stew. Shout out to Beer Gardens. I hope you're having fun, Mark. Don't worry, we will carry on without you. Shout out to the Battlefield peeps who shared in the joy, in the frustrations of the Battlefield 6 beta, and the 2 of you for having a fun little show this afternoon. It's been great, and thanks to Boomer and Lord. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Lord Duh. Hanging out in the chat today. Hopefully more of you who listen to this will join us live next Sunday, 3 p.m. East. If you live anywhere else, you're just going to have to figure it out. There you go.
Anything else?
9.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.